Hi there friends, this is TTRP Bree, and today we are going to be redesigning my character Leorah. So a few things about Leorah before we begin. She is for the system Urban Shadows. Her playbook is Oracle. Originally she was made back in February of 2021 as part of my DM's new game. I've been with this DM since 2018 and they were making a new game. This game still has not started. So we're still waiting for that, but I thought I would redesign her again. This last design that you're seeing on screen right now is from February of 2023. I think that this design is nice. I think it's fine, but with the revamping that I've been doing with her character and all that has been going on with the different types of media that I've consumed, as well as my art style changing and evolving and all that, I thought that the design could use a little bit of work. So let's get started with the first bit of sketching. Also, to be more clear, there were some parts of this video that I forgot to record in real time. So I've supplemented that with Procreate's time-lapse recording video tool thing. So if you're wondering why that looks weird, that would be why. So when it came to sketching out Leorah's initial design, my first thought was, what type of shapes am I trying to invoke in this character? What's her vibe? What can I say about her character in the simplest parts of her design? And I thought of this character. Leorah is a very soft, outwardly sweet type of person. She takes life in a very gentle way, I guess you could say. But she is also a backstabber. This is Urban Shadows, and in Urban Shadows, your character is basically guaranteed to not be a kind or good person. So as I was sketching her out, I was thinking about what is it I could do to evoke the idea that this person is soft and kind and good, but also has a bit of an edge to her. And I went with this very soft, as you can notice that she's a little bit chubbier, has a soft face, has a very nice round hairdo. I like to think that she's quite pretty. But she also has these long bits of fabric coming out from under her sleeves, kind of making these things that look almost like wings, or something sharper. But they all kind of come in to keep up that round motif. So that's what I was thinking of, sketching out her entire ref sheet here. In terms of my ref sheet layouts, I like to keep them very detailed. This is actually a new layout that I'm trying. I think it works out pretty well. It gives you a very good idea of what the character is supposed to look like, how they are supposed to evolve, and I don't know, I like it a lot. I am going to keep on keeping on with this. If you guys are interested in seeing more of my ref sheet layouts, I have a lot to redo, and some characters I need to design for later arcs in some other games. But this is a new character for a new game. Well, not a new character. I've had her for a bit. As you can see, I keep a lot of reference images over in the side of my Procreate. Leorah is Middle Eastern, so I was trying to get her features to be not so Eurocentric. You know, make sure that she looks like she is not white, because she's not white. I also really had a lot of ideas. So this game is a cyberpunk game, but I wanted Leorah to kind of feel more old world. She almost fits better in a fantasy. She, in her previous design, had more cyberpunk elements, but I thought it would be cool if those came in later in the game, since this is her first design. This is her starting base design. I thought it'd be cool to add those later in the game, so I kind of axed them for now, but they will come back. A lot I was focusing on with Leorah's face was the droopier features. I don't know if that's a good word for it, but her eyes are like down tilted, her smile is downturned. She looks like she's softly melting. A lot of my friends have said that she kind of reminds them of a cup of hot cocoa in a way where it's just like she's so comfortable looking and so warm looking. So I think that that is a good analogy for her. I also designed her during the colder months, so that might have something to do with it. It's kind of funny because this game takes place in post-apocalyptic Florida, so it's not very cold there. Her design also kind of brings to mind some religious iconography, I think. I don't have her story fleshed out to the point where I know if she is ultra religious. I have some ideas for it. She's not a priest or anything, but I do think that the general like veneer of kindness and goodness hiding behind, or hiding more razor sharp evil intentions, I guess, is very suiting for this type of story. I mean, there's an entire playbook dedicated to running a church or cult thing. It's very funny. A lot of these techniques you can see with the flipping and the moving around, that's things that other artists have talked about extensively. If we want to talk more about my way of creating ref sheets and how I enjoy putting these things together, then I can always make a video about that. But I have a template that I go off of for all of my ref sheets that kind of give the relevant information I think that I would want people to know about my designs. Also, I'm so sorry the canvas is moving all over the goddamn place. Oh, another thing is that I also wanted Leorah to be very beautiful. I thought that it's relevant for her backstory for her to be as gorgeous as she is. But I wanted her to have this striking sort of, oh, this is a very unique and beautiful person, because she is very unique and very beautiful. And I also wanted her to have like this softness for backstory reasons. Essentially, I'm just making themes, or how I write my characters is I make themes for them, and I explore those themes in both their design and their writing slash role playing throughout this game. The mini outfits are always the most controversial parts for me. I struggle, despite loving the outfit design, I sometimes struggle to come up with, oh, this is, XYZ character would wear XYZ thing in XYZ situation. Sometimes those are hard to brainstorm for me. But I came up with a few very cute outfits for her, as you will be able to see coming up here. Unfortunately, I do think that I forgot to record parts of the sketching process for some of them, so whoops. You're just gonna have to survive and be rest assured that I did draw these myself. With Leora's hair, I was definitely trying to do some sort of shorter, curly pixie cut. She has a design where she has longer hair, but I don't do short haired characters very often, and I thought that something different would be good. I also just think it suits her. It's super cute. She is quite the adorable little monster of a character. Also, you can see me struggling with her hands here. Another design thing I wanted to talk about with Leorah was, geez, how do I put this? She is very comfortable with her body and with her sexuality. So she does not care about showing off. I also feel like this is a great time to mention that she is also blind. She was not born blind. This was due to something that I cannot talk about because I'm pretty sure that my friends who play in this campaign with her will be watching this video. But she is blind. She was made blind later in life. And, you know, she has a very interesting way that she likes to design her clothing. Being blind, first off, she is very picky with the fabrics that she will wear, and she prefers usually to be showing some sort of skin, partially because it's Florida weather and it's hot and it's post-apocalypse, so like, you know, climate change has set into effect and half of the fucking state is under the water. But also she just feels quite comfortable with her body and with showing off. She's not shy about any aspect of it. I was definitely leaning into a lot more of these deep V's or high V's, even with the leg slits, but also she has some sun imagery going along because, well, it's just because partially her color scheme just really suits the sun, but also her love interest is a dragon, a night sky dragon, a fellow PC. I don't know too much about him, but I know that I love them and I would die for them, and they're so freaking cute. I will not be showing any art of them currently because he still needs a design revamp. My poor friend who's designing him suffers every day, truly. I like this formal dress a lot. I think it really brings to mind this kind of regality that Leorah is striving for. She comes from a richer background, not like royalty or nobility necessarily, or like, you know, a billionaire, but she definitely, what's the vibe? I guess the vibe is something like she has seen what real money is her entire life, and she strives to be part of that world, because she doesn't totally, she's a bit of a naive character in terms of how the world works. Casual stuff time. Yours not usually a casual type of girl. She's very busy. She's an academic at the moment. She tries her best to keep herself in a professional looking thing. But, you know, sometimes she likes to go out and she likes to have fun. And those will be the times that she'll be wearing something like this. Another thing to note about Leorah is that she wears a lot of jewelry. She likes to it all comes back to this feeling of wanting to be kind of opulent. Um, you know, Urban Shadows is a game about connections, and it's not necessarily about making money, but My DM is anti-capitalist. I understand that money's gonna come into play. How could it not? Also, I just like these sandals. I think they're super friggin' cute. This sundress outfit, it's a lot more like beachy, I guess. A lot of the reasons I include it is because I just think that her wearing a simple white dress is very adorable. Um, you know, even when she's out on the town, she likes to kind of come across as opulent. So I was like, huh, what if she truly just needed a dress to just kind of vibe around in on the beach, assuming that it's not filled with toxic waste or whatever the fuck. Also, her hat's really cute. I'm not usually good at drawing hats, but I kind of think I slayed a little bit here. Even so, she's always adding ribbons and like jewels and everything to her outfits to make them more interesting um, and more feeling, I suppose. Her swimsuit's pretty simple. It's a bikini. I think I forgot to doodle part of it. This last one is a bit of a ritual gown, I guess. I'm not sure what it's going to be used for, but I have a few ideas, and hopefully we will be able to expand on those later. Getting into the line art here, I didn't really record myself in real time doing the line art because it's not really a process where any design decision is made. So I guess I just want to talk a little bit about Leorah as a character. She is a character who I've had for a long time, so I've been able to think about her for a long time. And whenever I think about Leorah, the first thing that comes to my mind is this idea of a character who can see the future and so never wants to live in the present. She never wants to stop and slow down and think about the past. All she can think of is reaching the future or preventing the future that she sees. And that's just a really interesting concept to me. In terms of her character expansion, I've recently been reading Circe by Madeline Miller. And a lot of those themes in that book really dive into what I'm kind of searching for with Leorah, with her relationship to her family, and things like that. Circe is a lot about this naive person finding her place in the world and coming to terms with herself, and that's a lot of what I'm searching for with Leorah. She is a sweet and kind person who has been surrounded her entire life by these people who will hurt her and hurt each other and take everything in the world. And I just think that I want to explore what that kind of corruption does to a character like Leorah. Alright, and getting into coloring. So I love coloring. I love what color theory and language says about characters. I think that this is some of the most fun character designing that you're going to, have in your process. So I always design my characters with a primary color in mind. Leorah's is a gold, orange, yellow type of vibe. It comes across as more like bronze, I think, in the final design, which I'm not too terribly hurt by. I think it looks really good on her. As you can see, I keep try and keep at least everything in the warmer areas. More contrast can come into her design later, when her character is developing and becoming more complex and fleshed out. I don't want to put, like, I'm not saying that this design isn't good, but I don't want to put like necessarily my best design out there in the first in the first iteration. Then where's the fun gonna come from? I try to do my best with the line art so that it's not so messy, but you know, it's line art and it's Procreate, so what you gonna do? I honestly can't wait to play her. I really think that she's going to be a really fun character to explore. Um, I do have a lot of ideas, and I really need to work on actually fleshing her backstory out more so I can get it to my poor DM. That'll be fine. They're pretty smart. Also with here, I like to choose the mini outfit body that has the most skin showing and start from there so it looks consistent. But I did kind of fuck up with this one because she has a lot of skin showing, it's true, but it's kind of awkward. I don't know why. Oh, well, why I didn't go with the swimsuit one was because she had the hat, but I feel like I could have combined the two. I'll make better decisions next time. You live and you learn. Okay, with her eyes, I was trying to make them look unique. At first she had blank eyes, which I think is, you know, a fine design choice, but I really like adding in the iris and the pupil. And so what I decided to do was go with this unoutlined kind of eye shape and use a brush that was just a circle brush to fill them in. I think it actually looks really cool. Like, it still gets across the fact that you know, clearly her eyes have been damaged in some sort of way, but it looks pretty and it's more expressive, and I just like them. I think it looks very nice. You also notice that there's a lot of like weird cuts and stuff. That was from me either stopping the recording or pausing for a second to switch my YouTube video or get something to drink or showing my friends something or, you know, doing a myriad of other things that weren't this art. I did not draw this all in one sitting. This was done over the course of like probably 2 weeks. I'll figure out the exact time later. I think it was something like 17 hours that this took me. But, you know, it worked out and she looks more pretty. You also notice that I changed her scar design. At first it was lines going across her face, and I thought that was fine, but it didn't really evoke burn scars, which is what I was going for. So I changed it to this, and now this is not realistic to what burn victims look like in real life. but there is a lot about Leorah's story that has to do with beauty standards and how that affects her. So there's a reason for this, I swear. I don't want to pop into it at the moment. Moles are such an underrated, like, part of character design. Moles and freckles, honestly. More of those. Oh, you'll see later, I actually do kind of fuck up her hair because I don't add the undertone, so I need to add it on top of the skin later. But her hair does have a little bit of a gradient where it fades from dark brown to this like goldish color. Because I can do whatever I want, and she's my character, and she's pretty. Work smarter, not harder, kids, unless you're like me, in which case you're working smarter also makes you work harder. Me attempting to patch it up there. Adding little highlights to her eyes. This is something I always do to make the character feel more alive. The only character who does not have any extra highlights in their eyes is my character Jack, and that is for a very specific reason. But, no, Leorah is here. She's alive. She's beautiful and thriving. Her hair. I was definitely going with a dark color for her hair. I just think that it looks the best for her. I love her hair. Her hair is one of my favorite parts of the design. It's so simple, but it really is just like a lot of fun to draw. It's very pretty. That and her eyelashes. I like her eyelashes. I like this design. I like drawing her. She's a lot of fun. Me going through and adding some warmth to her body, this is another very good way. I think it makes my characters just feel more alive when they have more than just their base skin tone. And you also see I messed up there. See, this is why you gotta keep control of your layers, you gotta name them. I don't. I'm a terrible artist. But also it's a pain in the ass and I don't like typing on my iPad. Adding lips to your characters is also kind of underrated. At least in the circles that I, kind of grew up with online, a lot of characters didn't really have lips. I give lips to all of my characters because they look good and also they are another element of design. Like how your character's mouth looks does have an effect on how people will view them. And Leorah's is very special because hers is a downturned smile. So she always looks a little bit sad, which is kind of depressing, but also suits her character really, really well, I think. Oh geez, let me think what I also want to say about her backstory. Leorah currently is staying at a university. She is part of the faction in Urban Shadows called Power. And how my DM manifested that was in this academy that kind of hoards a lot of the oracles and does a lot of studies. She is studying the future and how it works. She is attempting to kind of make a name for herself. She was, I don't know if unknown is the right word for her, but she was definitely not known for being herself. So she's trying to make a name out there that is for her own and not involved in any other part of her life, her childhood, her backstory, things like that. So that is what she's working on at the moment. I still need to flesh out her design a little bit more, probably redo her character sheet. Not her design, her backstory. I need to flesh out her story in general a little bit more. Maybe redo her character sheet. And then also study it and see how Urban Shadows itself tackles the future will play a big part in Leorah's character. Just because I enjoy making my characters' mechanics and their backstory interact in that sort of way. We're getting into our outfit more, so you can see a lot more of the creams and the golds. I actually do change those sleeves to a more pure white. I thought the gold was a little bit too overbearing, and I didn't like how it balanced her out. But yeah, she is clearly trying to give opulent and trying to give also, I think, mature. Trying to give almost, I don't know what the word is, like she is a mentor figure, despite the fact that she is not. Don't go to her for advice if you value your time and your energy. She's not the person who's good at it. I also wanted to give her shoes that were very easy for her to walk in. She, doesn't drive. I don't know. I don't know what the state of transportation is in this game, in terms of like the world building and stuff either. But I wanted to give her something where if she could tell that an obstacle was coming up, she would be very easily moved around it, not in like heels or anything like that. Not that she doesn't know how to walk in heels, of course, but Yep, there they go. There they go. I think it's a lot more balanced when the gold is more of an accent color. Maybe those brighter colors can come into play as she expands into her story. It really depends on where she goes. And then I added a pattern. You will never catch me drawing these patterns by hand. No, I'm really bad at drawing patterns. I'm pretty bad at drawing anything other than humanoid figures, I think. Humanoid figures and clothing. So that is something that I'm definitely going to be looking to improve, is things like backgrounds and objects, things like that. Here you can see me adding in her hair gradient. This is where I mess up. I realized that I kind of merged my layers a little bit too quickly, and I was just like, well, we gotta roll with the punches here. So rolling with the punches is what I did. Oh, this belt design. I actually had a little bit of a trouble with what I was wanting to do with it at first, but I knew that I wanted her to have a cool buckle, and her main outfit didn't have as much sun stuff as I would have liked. So I upped that and put it on the belt. Unfortunately, with the pose I chose, that was also covered, but that's the great thing about ref sheets. You can just do whatever the fuck you want. I also do have a variant with the hood up. She uses this as kind of a protective thing. Like if she's sad, she'll put her hood up to kind of protect herself, or scared. But also I just think it makes her look more mythical, like almost more fantasy inspired, not expired. She has not expired yet, but she thinks that would be a very interesting thing to experience. Something else that's fun with Leorah as we, color her in here is that she is a hedonist in such a way where she thinks that experiencing new things is just a great way to live. Like, even negative things, even things that are painful or scary to her are fascinating. Like, she's like a thrill seeker in that sort of way. She thinks that there's nothing more engaging on this world than experiencing new things. She does not like to live in a state of normalcy. She finds that boring, I guess is the best word for it. So I thought that was something interesting. Her playbook does also lean into, she has her oracle move, but in my opinion, it's more of a general, almost psychic move. Like a lot of her moves have to do with, like, being an empath. But, like, no, for real. Like, she can touch people and, like, feel their emotions and read their thoughts and stuff like that. So that was something I was really thinking of leaning into with her, was the idea that she needs to experience more things. And it would make sense. She grew up really friggin' sheltered. Leorah always looks kind of like thoughtful and sad, regardless of if she's actually sad and or thinking. And that was definitely something I was trying to convey with her. She does have, the normal tragic backstory that all of my characters have. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them. So, making her look sad and making her look like she has room to grow in her design is definitely something that I was looking for a first character design like this. I could see this design getting really, really crazy in the future. And if you guys are interested and if you like her, I'll keep you updated on those as well. As we kind of come up on the end here, I guess I just wanted to lean more into, talk more about Leorah and, where her design ended up. And I really like it. I think it looks very nice. I've drawn her a mini, and I think that also looks adorable. It looks good in shading and it looks good in motion. So I'm pretty happy with this so far. She is definitely queening out. She hit the Pentagon. And I think that this also gives me a good baseline for future designs. That would be my suggestion to you if you are new to TTRPGs, D&D, things like that. Make your first design look cool and fun and, convey your character, but don't make it, your most awesome, best design ever. Your character is going to grow throughout the campaign, and you should leave room for that. In my opinion, if you just are like, oh, I never update my character design, then that's also fine. I'm not the arbiter of what all to do, but that would be my advice, is it's okay if the first design isn't the most flashy or craziest thing in the world. You have probably a long ways to go with this campaign if your group's anything like mine. So enjoy while you have it, and think about the ways that things can get crazier in the future. Something so refreshing about a new design. Oh, I love her. I love her. I love her. And I do think that her design fits her character a lot better than the original. That's how you can see me adding in the details that I forgot. Sometimes it happens. I also skipped the writing down all the things about her design because I thought it was boring, and the background making because it didn't really have anything to do with her actual character design. If you guys want me to keep those in, let me know, but I think that this video is plenty long as is. That's a great thing for Procreate. If you need your character to stand up from the background, just copy and paste the character layer and then fill it in with a dark color and use the Gaussian blur, I think that's how it's called, and then that'll automatically do it. And there she is, my beautiful, beautiful baby. I really hope that you guys liked watching me draw this character. I really hope that you had a good time with it. I know that I had a very good time recording this and putting this together. I hope that you guys will stick around and see what the future holds for both her and myself as an artist. And yeah, it's been a wonderful time. I hope you have a good night. Take care of yourself, and see you soon.